Now, from your first 24-hour news source, the news of the world, weather, and sports, all in the first 11 minutes. This is News 40, 11 at 11.
Smoke and flames consume a building in Holyoke. The fire allegedly set by children.
Our top story tonight on 11 at 11, 4 juveniles will be charged with setting that major fire in Holyoke. Good evening, I'm Ray Herschel.
And I'm Priscilla Rest. The children being charged are as young as 7, as old as 14 years old. They'll be formally charged in court tomorrow. Holyoke firefighters tell News 40 those juveniles set the fire with material they found inside the warehouse. Meanwhile, that building is still smoldering. We have team coverage tonight, beginning with News 40's Stephen Cooper, who takes us to the scene of the inferno.
This is a mill construction building, and when they do catch fire, there's a heavy fire load. There's a lot of wood near to burn, and as you can see, they're spectacular.
This is the former Adams Packerwood Corporation at Appleton and Race Streets going up in a storm of fire. You could see the smoke for miles. Up close, you could feel the fire's heat as you faced its fury.
Thank God we've got the canals around here. I don't know how many pumps. We've got many pumps in the canal pumping water on this thing.
The blaze began on the top floor and quickly swept downward as day turned to night. The company which last occupied the building made laminated wood materials for kitchen utensils, raising speculation that oils left behind would complicate the firefighting efforts. There were other concerns as well.
We were very concerned when we first got here with the exposures being endangered. The surrounding buildings were starting to steam from the radiant heat. We had to wet those down at first, which gave the fire kind of a jump on us.
Mutual aid was called in from at least 5 communities.
Right now we've laid out 2,600 feet of 5-inch hose from 3 different locations as a water supply to help out the city of Holyoke and the other companies that are actually putting the water on the fire. When you don't see any more orange, basically, it's out. And I'd say probably by about 3:30 in the morning, you won't see any orange. All the walls will continue to collapse. The fire will fall inside of itself. But these main walls that run down along Appleton Street, those will collapse during the night. We're trying to keep this tower from collapsing. I don't know what's holding the other tower up.
This is Stephen Cooper joining you live now at the scene. You can still see smoke for miles. Of course, though, the fire itself is dying. How is this fire fought? Well, we're told that crews never actually went into the building. With these types of fires, it is too risky to send crews into the building. Instead, they surround it, and what they call surround it and drown it. They get as much water on as possible and watch the flames die. More now on those on the front lines of the fire from Ray Herschel.
Stay back, surround and drown, because that's basically about all you can really do.
Major fires like this one are nothing new to Holyoke firefighters. They have seen more than their share over the years. This one ranks as one of the worst.
I was melting some of the taillights on the truck. It was so hot when we got here.
It's been a long day and night for these Holyoke firefighters. Firefighters from Engine 1 were the first to respond here. They have been on duty since 7 this morning and were scheduled to go home just minutes before the alarm was sounded.
I had to worry about fatigue and exhaustion. There's all kinds of work to do when you first get down here, hauling lines and setting up heavy appliances like these deck guns you see in the street. So I'd have to say fatigue, and you're going to have to worry about dehydration. You perspire under these turnout coats quite a bit. So after not too long a time, we're starting to look for Cokes and the Gatorade and coffee to replenish the fluids.
With a structure this huge, firefighters have to watch out for crumbling walls and nearby electrical wires that may come down in the fire. And for rookies like William Allen, a night like this is a night they'll long remember.
Is this the worst you've seen?
This is probably the biggest, yes. Yeah. I don't know about the worst. I fought one fire last November where we lost 3 people, and it was pretty amazing, traumatic.
Now, luckily, no lives have been lost in this blaze. However, we have heard that 2 firefighters were taken to the hospital with injuries, one suffering carbon monoxide poisoning, the other an unnamed injury. There were reports that one firefighter slipped and broke his arm or leg, but that refers back to a firefighter who did slip on his way out in the rush to get to the fire. We have also learned, since the fire broke out this afternoon, that this building was an operating factory until 3 years ago when State Street Bank took back the financing, pulled in on the financing on owner Robert Goulet of Connecticut, and still today there's a major lawsuit pending between the bank and Goulet. Now, one commuter note for the morning. This stretch of Appleton Street behind me, below High Street and above Race Street, will be closed. This stretch of route behind me will be closed tomorrow morning because the towers are still very unstable. There's still some concern that those towers may collapse. Now, once again, there are 4 individuals. Youths have been apprehended. for allegedly setting this fire. They will be charged tomorrow. This is Stephen Cooper reporting live in Holyoke. Back to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Stephen. It has been quite a day and quite an evening there, and as you say before, firefighters will remain on the scene all night long at that fire. Thanks for that report.
Sure.
Priscilla?